Tonight in Lincoln, two of the nation's powerhouses. It's the home of the Huskers. It's a Nittany Lion dynasty. We're coming at you. Bring it on. The time for talk is over. Penn State, Nebraska, next.
There's a simplicity about wrestling. You versus me. Fixed space. Finite period of time. I move, you counter. You move, I counter. Strength, skill, guile, guts. Everything you've got. All for the right to make the ultimate move.
From Lincoln, Nebraska, it's wrestling on BTN. Presented by Cliff Keen Athletic, where tonight it's a top 10 Big Ten meet with Nebraska hosting Penn State. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Johnson, along with my broadcast partner, Olympian Ken Chertow. And can you tell I'm excited? This is going to be a great meet. Nebraska and Penn State tonight, really close one.
Oh, it will be. A lot of individual bouts are going to be closely contested. Penn State might be the slight favorite in a few more than Nebraska, but a lot of toss-ups. And look at this environment. It's going to be coming down the home stretch, a lot of bouts.
Talking about Nebraska, they got a couple of All-Americans, 141-pounder Chad Redd Jr. and 165-pounder Isaiah White.
Yeah, two of the leaders of their team. Those guys are both dynamite and explosive. Chad Redd is such good at attacking the legs. He gets in on those finishes. He's got great level changes. Here you see a nice counterattack. Very diverse. But he's up against Penn State's leader, one of the top Penn State Nittany Lions, particularly.
Well, they're not only leaders, but they're the NCAA champions. This is Isaiah White.
Isaiah White is going up against NCAA champion DeCenzo Hall. Excuse me, DeCenzo Joseph, and then Hall coming up after that. And White is a beast. He's had 2 of his 3 matches with DeCenzo Joseph in the last couple seasons have been overtime.
And there they are, a couple of NCAA champions in Joseph and Hall.
Those guys are beasts, so hard to score on, full of dynamite. And Hall is going up against Labriola, who went close with him last season. So again, Penn State favored in many bouts, but a lot of close ones.
Let's take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you have built on the web at defensesoap.com. We're starting at 125. Let's take a look at 133 and 141. RBY, Roman Bravo Young up against a young upstart true freshman, Ridge Lovett. And then Nick Lee and Chad Redd continuing their rivalry.
Yeah, and then in those upper weights, too. I mean, we talked about 65 and 74 expected to be close. We got ranked wrestlers at 84 and 97, so just expect right up and down the lineup a lot of closely contested bouts.
We talked about all the ranked wrestlers, but at 125, 2 unranked wrestlers, redshirt freshmen, Brandon Meredith, Alex Thompson, and this match could go a long way in determining the meet tonight. Brandon Meredith out of Limerick, Pennsylvania, redshirt freshman, an aerospace engineer major, up against the young Alex Thompson, who was a 4-time state champion in Iowa, in Underwood, Iowa. Thompson was coached by a former Nebraska Husker, Joe Stevens. Brandon Meredith stepping in. Brody Teske, they had figured, was going to be the 125-pounder for Penn State. He no longer is with the Nittany Lions, transferred out. It's going to be with the University of Northern Iowa. So it looks like it's going to be Brandon Meredith's spot.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, Penn State, the NCAA championship team, 9 of the last 10 years, 8 of the last 9 years, just dominating program. Yet they have an opening at 125 for a walk-on who's in here making a name for himself as a second-year student.
You go to work.
They have one common opponent, these two 125-pounders. Brandon Petzel from Lehigh. Petzel major decisioned each of these young men this year. That's their only common opponent.
Yes, you say so. He majors them. This is 2 week links for both programs, but yet they're very equally matched. Could be a toss-up match. Look, he's trying to push him out. Penn State's got to circle in, or he's going to get one for stalling. They're fighting hard. Nebraska's doing a good job controlling that edge of the mat. Meredith from Penn State's got to do a better job of circling in.
And Jason Wedgbury, the head official, calls action. There's one of 3 calls that's called at the edge of the mat. It's either action, continue, or stalling on the man backing out, or stalling on the man pushing out without allowing his opponent the opportunity to work back in. Wedgebury, the head official, calls it action. They go back to the center. No warning for stalling.
So much room for interpretation there. And, you know, the crowd's interpretation, as you heard the grumblings, they wanted the stall call.
Always going to be for the home crowd. And speaking of the home crowd, very nice here at Bob Devaney Sports Center. Wonderful wrestling facility. And it's just a very nice crowd of probably around 3,000 in Bob Devaney Center for this Big Ten top 10 matchup. Great night of wrestling. Ohio State at Iowa next on BTN following this dual meet. It doesn't get much better than that for wrestling fans.
What a great night. I mean, so grateful for the Big Ten Network. Growing up, we just hardly could ever see wrestling on television. Now we're getting double doses on a Friday night. What better way to spend your Friday night watching Penn State, Nebraska, and then, boom, Ohio State at Iowa.
There's the stall call from the official, backing out. That goes against Brandon Meredith for Penn State. First is a warning, then comes points. 30 seconds left in the first period. We started at 1:25. We're just getting going here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Penn State, Nebraska, 125-pounders first period.
So good time to take an attack here in the last 5-10 seconds of a period. Neither wrestler is taking advantage of the opportunity for the quick score. We're going to end the period 0-0.
Talk about winners. There's Cale Sanderson, 14th year at Penn State. 8 of the last 9 years as the NCAA team champions. Her 11th season as the head coach. So, not a bad record there, and arguably the greatest wrestler of all time. Undefeated at Iowa State, 4-time NCAA champion, Olympic champion. And there's the escape.
Yeah, that's big for Nebraska. I mean, he got away quick and easy. I'm surprised Penn State's Meredith didn't try to hold him out at least a little longer. After going 3 minutes of no takedowns, you'd think you're going to grind on top a little bit. Thompson did a great job to get away, but without not much resistance from Penn State.
So we're right back to where we started, on our feet. The escape by Alex Thompson, quick. So important in matches to get quick escapes like that. Makes a statement. It helps your confidence, and so that you pointed that out, Ken. That quick escape was big for the Huskers' Thompson.
Yeah, in a low-scoring match like that, to get away quick. One of these guys got to step up the game here. There's Meredith taking a shot, but way too far away. Oh, big fight here. This is a big scramble right here. Meredith stuck underneath. He's got to drive back up to his feet. He does a good job. Thompson's got to drive through. I think we're not going to see anything here. I don't think we're going to see a score. Now see who's comfortable here. Lefty over under. Thompson looks kind of comfortable. Meredith is clearly not comfortable. He does not want to be in there. He's just glad he got off his knees. Neither guy seems overly confident in executing a scoring technique, Tim. They're both kind of like, I don't really want to be here.
35 seconds left in the second period. Alex Thompson for Nebraska out in front with that quick escape to begin the second period. 1-0 the score.
Now, it's interesting how Meredith's pulling on ahead with 2 hands a lot. Like, it's almost like his strategy is to keep it close and wear his guy down. So he's not done much. Like, that would be a stalling against Penn State here. The crowd is going to get that call, I think. The referee is being immune to it. He's not going for it. But really, Nebraska's done a bit more here. Penn State's holding out for dear life with short time left. He's going to not get scored on. Nebraska will have a chance on top. Penn State should be picking bottom down here. This is a big first 15 seconds here. Can Thompson stop the first move and get a ride under control?
1-0, gentlemen.
Alex Thompson leading 1-0, comes on top.
You may cover. Yes.
Of Brandon Meredith, who did choose down to begin the third period.
He's got to his feet, so he's waiting to get a hand. He's waiting to get to his feet. He's going to go for a hand as soon as he makes his move. Thompson's trying to get the wrist. Meredith's doing a really good job of sealing. Oh, and Thompson lets loose. See, I'm not feeling this philosophy, Tim. I'm thinking close match like this, you got to be grinding that. At least work hard to tire him out and get some riding time.
So it's 1-1. We're in the third period. Neither wrestler's come very close to a takedown. There is
He heard you.
Meredith in on the shot, the high crotch, and Thompson trying to cut the corner.
Thompson looks pretty comfortable here. He's got the angle. He's doing a good job of scooting. You kind of see he's not panicking. Oh, that's a really good move by Meredith, but another counter by Thompson. Both these guys look pretty solid in here. I'm not thinking either guy's going to finish. Meredith's waiting too long to finish. Thompson's patient. He's looking at the ref for a stalemate, Tim. You see he looks up at the referee. He wants a stalemate, but and he gets it. The crowd gets it. The referee calls it. What a great level change. So Meredith gets in there deep. He changes levels quickly, and he's in. But Thompson cuts the corner, drops to his left hip, starts scooting, and gets the crotch lock to pretty much secure the eventual stalemate.
Here we go, 50 seconds left in regulation time.
It's coming down to conditioning and gut check. Can you sense, Tim, who you feel's got the conditioning edge here? Who's going?
I don't think it's a conditioning fact right now, but neither wrestler has been able to get past that head-hands defense enough to get that in on the legs. There's Thompson in on the legs, comes to the over, and again, Meredith fending off the attack by Thompson.
I love this over-under position. Personally, as an athlete and coach, I love training at underhooks and underhook offense, and neither one of these guys are confident here. Of course, it's a close match. You got to know what you're doing to be in there. Neither one of them wants to score here. We're going to end up going to sudden death, and it's going to come down to who gets that quick attack or counter. But we're going to go here to sudden death. So two unranked wrestlers. This individual bout could dictate the end score of this close duel meet.
And you're right about that. And we said there was a toss-up. Here's the overtime criteria. We're in the 1-minute sudden victory. So let's just talk about that right now. Any score here wins. If Thompson was to get a stall card against Meredith, that would be 1 point and the match would be over. Any score wins right here for 1 minute on the board. Here we go. Sudden victory.
See who opens up and changes levels. They've both shown the potential to change levels. There we go. He's in deep. He was happy. He went upper body. He's going up.
There's the two. And the Husker fans come to their feet. And Nebraska goes out front 3-0 in the toss-up match to begin this Big Ten Top 10 matchup.
Love the excitement in the air. What a great level change, and he went right to the bear hug off of his double. He knew where he wanted to be, and he throws it by to finish for the Big Two sudden death victory.
The coaches go crazy. They have a very enthusiastic coaching staff led by Mark Manning there, and there's Brian Snyder up on the stage. And a big, big win to start the meet out. Next match coming up, 133 pounds. RBY, Roman Bravo Young, the true sophomore, out to an undefeated season so far, going up against Ridge Lovett, the true freshman. RBY knows what it's like to come out as a true freshman. Had an All-American season last year. Ridge Lovett, true freshman, really tough and gritty. He was a 4-time state champion out of Post Falls, Idaho. 169-0 in high school, a Fargo Greco champion, going against Roman Bravo Young out of Tucson, Arizona, Sunnyside High School. He was 182-0 and the outstanding wrestler 4 years in a row.
Holy smokes, Tim. Two undefeated high school phenoms going at it. This is great wrestling right here.
And one was in high school just last year, Ridge Lovett, and one just 2 years ago, RBY.
Total conflict of styles. Lovett loves to grab the 2-on-1. Lovett's won the first 30 seconds here. He's controlled the 2-on-1, slowed Roman Bravo down. Lovett, as you know, it's Greco champion, right? So he's great upper body, control ties. On the other hand, Roman Bravo Young, speed, level changes, direction changes. So definitely conflict of styles. Plus, Tim, look for the mat game. Lovett, as you noted earlier when we were talking, is very tough on top. Rode Iowa for the whole third period the other night.
Austin DeSanto won, but it was a third period ride out for Ridge Lovett that basically said, hey, Lovett's in it to win it. And good point that you just made there, Ken, about the contrasting styles and the importance of keeping it close for Lovett so that he can get in his position in his mind on top and go to work.
Yeah, oh, that was slick. Holy smokes, I love it, the boot scoop. Tim Johnson, made famous by your boy Lincoln as a longtime Hawk fan, you love Lincoln McElravy. That's the move right there. Great counterattack by Roman Bravo Young. Holy smokes, I think we're going to see a stalemate unless somebody just goes crazy on this scramble. Right now, Lovett's winning. Oh, now all of a sudden, Roman Bravo Young sneaks out. He gets it. Holy smokes. Wow. What a great flurry. Holy smokes. Oh, wow. Good, he's just jerking that leg. And good, Lovett's gonna keep pulling. He's pulling, he wants that. He might as well just keep going for it and jump on him. He's doing great, look at the flexibility. Roman Bravo Young is still getting riding time, Tim.
Great scramble. Less than a minute left in the first period.
All right, good call by the referee. Holy smokes, look at that elbow pull, baseball slide, boot scoot, hits the corner. What great technique. Roman Bravo Young spins out, scrambles, and does an amazing job here, and then almost gets the reversal off it, but just doesn't quite get out. Live action, there's a lot of controversy on the man. The coaches are arguing. Coach Manning and Coach Snyder are out there. So are the Sandersons. It's heated. I mean, this is important stuff right here.
So Jason Wedgbury giving the explanation.
So if I heard correctly, he's waving off the 2 and saying he's not going to give the 2. So if I heard the official clearly, which I think I did, he said, I'm not giving 2. So I think we're going to be on our feet and they're going to fix the riding time. You see Jason Wedgbury going here. He's looking at, he's self-looking at it. But through that argument of all 4, that was great. How about all 4 coaches out there going at it? They wanted to go at it, Tim. So basically, Coach Manning and Coach Snyder did a great job to get that call looking like it's going to get reversed. But now Manning's still complaining. Maybe it's not going to be changed. It's not clear to me, Tim, what the... So the referee, Jason Wedgbury, is looking closely at it on video. Yeah, off the top of my head, from what I saw, I thought there was 2 a couple times. Not only there, but also about 2 seconds from now, right now, before when the hand was down.
Okay, and so he's talking about being below the hips, and then he gets the one, should have there been a warning. We're going to get the call right here.
Okay, so
nothing changes.
All right, so all they're doing is just changing. They gave the takedown, but not until a little later. They decided it wasn't as soon, and Roman Bravo Young doesn't even try on top.
So 34 seconds of riding time total for Roman Bravo Young.
I'm impressed. I'm sorry. Impressed with that 2-on-1, Tim. He is controlling that thing. He is, Lovett's really dictated the tempo of the match so far.
Still in the first period, 2-1. Like we talked about, Lovett keeping it close right here because RBY is so good on his feet. Great motion, creates action, and Lovett's strategy has stayed in close, tight with RBY and has not allowed him to create that kind of action he likes to do.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, Rich Lovett's controlled this first 3 minutes, except for Roman Bravo Young did an amazing job of scrambling out of that boot scoot. I mean, that's just some sheer talent and scramble and fight.
Green, your choice.
Hi, so Roman Bravo Young has chosen neutral. He's like, I'm not going under this guy. I'm going to stay on my feet. All right, so that, in a sense, that's a point for Lovett because he doesn't, you know, RBY doesn't get a chance to escape.
So RBY chooses neutral to start the second period.
So Lovett was looking for that elbow pull again, and Roman Bravo Young's a little aware of that this time. He actually let go with his left hand. Now Lovett grabbed it. Ooh, here's a scramble. Roman Bravo Young's in deep. This, oh, man. Good wrestling.
Yeah, I love it staying on top of the head, not allowing RBY to work that head and be able to do that snap and float around that he is so good at with his athleticism and quickness.
He is good at that, Tim. You note that. I mean, he's just like really fluid on go-behinds. Like some people do it in steps, like they sprawl and then they go behind. RBY does like all at the same time, simultaneously. It's crazy, but I'm very impressed. I hadn't seen much of Lovett through high school. I mean, I was aware of him, but then I watched him against Iowa, as we know, against DeSanto last week. And I mean, he's a true freshman. He's the real deal.
RBY for Penn State, the favorite here, but Lovett not in his mind. And right now, RBY in on the leg, but not a quick finish. And can Lovett sit and cut the corner?
Kind of a
got a lot of leverage there, doesn't he, as far as his length?
He does.
We're talking about Lovett working to try to get the 2 points.
Now that's a good move by RBY. That's a good head dip. He went from a head outside shot to a head inside head dip. Wow, very good move by Roman Bravo Young.
For the 2-point takedown, now out in front 4-1 with 20 seconds left in the second period. So a takedown in the first period, a takedown now in the second period.
So here we're almost a stalemate, but Roman Bravo Young ducks his head under the calf, comes out the back door right here. You know, this was kind of created in the 90s. Smith did a little bit, but Brad Penrith of Iowa was great at diving in on head outside shots like that, dipping his head under the ankle and doing exactly what Roman Bravo Young just did there. Very precise technique to finish that move. Okay, so obviously this is a really important 10 seconds. He's going to get a fresh start. So Roman Bravo Young decided, I'm going to try to ride this guy for 20 seconds. He's rated him for 10 so far. What do you think, Tim? Can he score on bottom here?
Well, this is a big 10 seconds, and Roman Bravo Young, to win an NCAA title, to get where he wants to go, he has got to be able to end a period on top in situations like this.
Yeah, and on the other hand, Lovett's got to hit a standing grab here or something to get out of here, and he's not gonna. So Roman Bravo Young wins that last 20 seconds with a ride out.
Takedown and ride out, 4-1 advantage for Roman Bravo Young, the sophomore, All-American for Penn State. Now,
Okay,
Rich Lovett will go underneath here because he wants to get that point for escape and go to work on his feet.
So interesting, Tim. Kale's over there intensely yelling. He doesn't usually do this. He wants Roman Bravo to try to keep him down. He wants him to hang him down. I love it. So Roman Bravo Young's not a real big mat wrestler. He struggles on bottom occasionally, and he can do top. But right now, that's stalling, and he did get called.
Below the hip, there, getting the count. You can't stay down below the hip for 5 counts, and Jason Wedgbury made the count, so that's warning on Bravo Young. That's his first warning.
Sure, but how about a really important ride? Because now he's up to a minute 15 ride time. So in what has been a very equally balanced match, 2 wrestlers are equally matched. Oh, that's almost stalling, push him out. Question close. Hey, Roman Bravo now has a minute 22 riding time, so that was a really big ride here, this first 23 seconds of the period. So he's got to. I don't think he's going to ride the whole time. I think he'll be concerned about getting called for stalling. I think he's come from his feet. So it could really come down to a big third period here if Lovett picks up his pace.
From your point, Ken, he's accomplished a lot of what he's been after on this. If he can ride him out, great, but he's got a point riding time that's going to be tough to overcome. And so effectively, right now, it's a 5-1 lead.
What he doesn't want to get happen, he doesn't want to get one for stalling. He probably should let him go and go on his feet. He must have heard me, Tim. So he's letting him go. He's just giving a lot of, because you can tell he was on the brink and get called for stalling. So he did a nice job of stalling for 30 seconds to build up the riding time, and now he's set. So even if Lovett gets a takedown here, he's got to get takedown and back points to win, or takedown or 2 takedowns, which I doubt. So that takedown and back points is what Nebraska needs here, and RBY is going to hang on. I'll be interested to see if he takes one more shot. That is not where Roman Bravo Young wants to be right there. Look, he's running. He's got to back out of there, rightfully so. Lovett's going to force the position. This is exciting because Lovett's going to force the action for a minute.
And a minute is what is left in regulation time as they work on the edge of the mat right there. The call will be stalling on RBY. That's 1 point for Ridge Lovett.
That's huge because now the match of takedown ties. It sends it to overtime. If he gets one now, he could win theoretically.
Theoretically, he could, and if he gets on top, that's his forte. We're talking about Ridge Lovett trailing by 1, effectively 2 now. It's
That's where I want to be if I'm Ridge Lovett right there, Tim. Over, under, jacking it up, double underhooking, forcing that position. Roman Bravo Young wants no part of that. He just made a really good move. He just hit a slick leg attack, no points yet. They're out of bounds. Wow, that could have been the match right there if Penn State had finished, but we're gonna have a doozy in 26 seconds.
What's your go-to move? And I think we saw it from Ridge Lovett in the first period. Had a really nice shot that he wasn't able to finish, but he's got to come after him now. What's your first move? What's your second move? But he's got to make it, because if he takes Bravo Young down and ends up on top, we'll go right to overtime for the second match in a row.
Yeah, good.
Look at this.
Look at that, man. Look
a
at that.
takedown.
Great job.
And could it
seals the deal. Seals the deal. Look at that. Great job by Penn State to finish strong.
Break easy.
That's 4 points. That was 2 and 4. Will it be with riding time? 11-3. It's a major decision.
Holy smokes.
For Penn State. So therefore, Penn State goes out in front 4-3. What a flourish in ending for Roman Bravo Young. Big major decision for the Nittany Lion. 11-3 the win. Penn State up 4-3 over Nebraska. We've had a great start here in Lincoln. Wrestling on BTN is presented by Cliff Teen Athletic. Wrestle with the best. And brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today. Ready for 141 pounds. We talked about it. It's going to be a good one as Penn State out in front 4-3 after 2 matches at 125 and 133. There's Chad Redd Jr. He met his opponent the first time in high school when they met in the state finals. And then last year in the duel. Nick Lee, 2-time All-American. Chad Redd Jr., 2-time All-American. Both juniors. They're both from Indiana. They met in the state championship where Chad Redd came from behind and won a state championship, keeping his #1 ranking in the nation. And last year, he fell behind, didn't have the comeback to win, and Nick Lee won 5-4 in the dual meet that was in Rec Hall at State College. We're in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, and here comes Chad Redd Jr.
Tim, I'm calling this match tonight. I mean, these two, perhaps the best wrestler on each team, arguably. I realize there's a couple ranked higher, but these guys are just dominating leaders, go-getters. I'm excited to see this particular individual matchup. So I like Redd's intensity this first 10 seconds. He's moving, faking. Lee loves to get his hands on you. He's great at grabbing you, pulling you. He's really good at Fireman's Carry series. Perhaps the best in the nation, along with Austin DeSanto, of running the firemen's and the dumps. So Redd wants open like he's doing well right now with body fakes and distance. Now he's getting tied up. He's underhooked a little bit.
That state championship in Indiana over Nick Lee for Chad Redd was one of 4 that he won at New Palestine High School, coached by his dad, Chad Redd Sr., who also runs a big club in the Indianapolis area. He's a 2-time All-American, Chad Redd, placing 7th and 8th his first 2 years. Nick Lee, a 1-time state champion. Then his senior year, he was homeschooled, so he could focus on freestyle. And
Wrestle through this.
all he's done at Penn State is become a 2-time All-American as a true freshman and sophomore.
Yeah, both these guys are dynamos, and their best wrestling is still in front of them. I mean, 4 years from now, these guys could be competing for the Olympic trials, and then this year, Lee is competing for the Olympic trials. Not necessarily a favorite in the weight-bearing Zane Rutherford and Yanni Diakomalis. Oh, nice head outside shot. That was really good from the open. Usually he does that off a fireman's carry first. Well, he's finishing clean, too. No playing around when he got it.
Great start for Nick Lee.
And, you know, talking about the Olympic trials, he did beat our Olympian Frank Molinaro in the Olympic trials in Dallas last month. So he is qualified for the final trials at Penn State later this year, in first weekend of April.
There's an Olympic qualifier in Dallas, the U.S. Senior Open, where Nick Lee qualified and will be wrestling at Penn State, sold out Bryce Jordan Arena for the Bryce Jordan Center for the final Olympic trials held by USA Wrestling April 4th and 5th. It'll be quite a show, and Nick Lee has qualified for that. He's from Evansville, Indiana. When he was wrestling in high school, it was for modern-day high school.
Keep it legal.
He's got a brother, Joe, that's on the a teammate at Penn State.
Yeah, Joe's doing great things in the room. So this has been a big ride by Lee. He has gone hard. I mean, Red is getting buried on bottom. I mean, he's getting armbar chicken wing. Now he's basically stalling and just not moving, trying to keep him from getting his arms. Lee's got that back leg hooked. This has been a nightmare minute for Red. 20 seconds left. I think the nightmare is going to continue. Red needs to step up his game here. He needs to push back and limp his right leg out. He's really getting dominated underneath here. This has not been a good minute and a half for Chad Red. A very good one for Lee.
You can tell that Nittany Lions have been working on that back leg trap and then the pressure up front in the room because several of the teammates are using it, and that's a great first period for Nick Lee.
And the key to this first period was Lee taking the good shot. He goes in deep on a head outside shot. And, oh, look at the swim. He's in there deep on the shot. Red sits the corner, but Lee gets his right arm across pretty fluently to finish.
Yeah, and what Lee does so well is a quick finish. He doesn't hang around. Nice job with the quick finish and the two-point takedown.
So Lee pounded on top. It looks like he's going to get away quick, too. Red doesn't seem... Red's tough on top if he can get your wrist, but Lee is determined on bottom. So Red's got to try at least to get him down. He's responsible for at least trying. He's trying hard. He doesn't have a wrist, though. Okay, he's getting called for stalling because he didn't make a big enough effort to get him to the mat.
And your point, Ken, was a good one in that he was trying. The attempts were there, but Lee was winning that game and not letting it. It wasn't like Red was just hanging on, but he did get called for stalling there. So that's a first warning for stalling for not returning Lee to the mat. And now Lee gets out for one, out in front 3-0.
Beautiful hip heist. That was just perfectly textbook executed. I love to see that. More young wrestlers at home watching, you got to move on the whistle. And that's exactly what Lee did there. He did a good hip heist, not a switch, but just a hip heist for one. Hey, this is great. Now let's see if Lee stays on the offense, which it looks like he is. I mean, he's really stalking and pulling. Red needs to create space and start body faking. If Red's going to get in this match, he's got to open up his game on his feet and get to the doubles and low singles.
No, you're right about that, Ken, in that Nick Lee keeps coming. He's got a high pace going on. He's really coming at Red, putting the pressure on, and there's another takedown. Single to the double to the 2 points.
Wow. That was
5-0 now, Nick Lee. As he has done each of the other 2 times they wrestled, got out to a fast lead and put Chad Red in a position to have to come back. Well, we're there again. Deja vu all over again, but look at this ride that Lee is putting on. He's got the arm bar, a lot of pressure, keeping Chad Red Jr. belly down.
Yeah, Red did a good job not to get turned there. Lee was trying that arm bar tilt. He was trying to tilt him back in bounds. Red's trying to get off bounds. Lee is trying to keep his butt in bounds. Red needs to get a fresh start. Lee is just cranking. And there's only 10 seconds left in the period. Boy, Lee, great performance so far by Nick Lee, Tim. So Lee did exactly what you're supposed to do. He picked bottom, he got away, and he got right back on the attack. Coming off a restart here, you're seeing his hip heist. He moves really good hip heist, almost like a half stand-up to a hip heist switch action. And then he just gets after it. He goes back into the leg attack. He gets in deep, and he drives through on the finish, not stopping on his shot. Just textbook wrestling by Nick Lee in that period.
Textbook wrestling is right. He's done everything Nick Lee right. Takedown in the first period, takedown in the second period after a quick escape, quick takedown. This is 2 minutes of riding time for Nick Lee. Everything going his way.
Well, this is the hardest Chad Red's gone, but he only was able to do it for 10 seconds. Now he's stuck again on bottom. Lee is just pounding. Oh, he's deciding he's going for the major decision. How about that, Tim? He's not going to just be content to ride hard. He's looking for a cradle.
He's already out front 6-0. There's a warning on Chad Red Jr. underneath. Nick Lee out in front 5-0. And there was 1 point for stalling, and so now it's 6-0 with the riding time at 7-0. So only one more point needed for that major decision, which would be the second in a row for the Nittany Lions. Finishing strong, RBY at 133. Starting and looks like finishing strong Nick Lee at 141 for the Nittany Lions.
Tim, he's got the rebar locked up. Underneath there, he's got that bar. If he can take him to the left, he's got to drive harder. I think he's going to get it. He's trying to tighten it up. He's pushing off that right foot. Red fought to free his arm. Red did a good job of fighting his wrist, but now, good job by Red to get that arm out of there. I mean, Lee is working his tail off. The coaches told him to hold him down. He didn't hear the call, though. He lets him go. He's going to go takedowns. Expect a shot quick. Lee is pushing the pace. He knows he's got a nice lead here. He's got to get a major. A takedown would get a major.
Well, this is the match within the match. What happens for Chad Red for the rest of the year is how he responds and wrestles the next 30 seconds. It's not about winning here. It's about competing, and it's a team point that he can keep if Lee doesn't get the 2, and he does. So that's an extra team point right there if Lee finishes on top. Takedown, riding, and finish on top, which will make it a major decision.
Nick Lee is on fire, Tim. Again, that was beautiful. Spin behind to a sweep single. Another, what I would call a textbook attack. He coming off the spin behind. He's going right into his reshot, specifically to a sweep single, reach behind finish. Very well executed.
Very well executed indeed. Nick Lee, number 2 ranked 141-pounder in the Flow Wrestling rankings, our partner in rankings, wins 9-1. That's another major decision, another 4 points, and now it's 8-3 for the Nittany Lions.
Holy smokes, Tim. Chad Red is really good, and he just got dominated right there. You see the reshot, sweep single, reach behind finish. I mean, Chad Red's the real deal. I could see him in the NCAA finals, and he's got measured by Nick Lee. I guess that's why Nick Lee beat Frank Molinaro, our Olympian, and made it to the Olympic trials already. For the trials.
Bonus points are huge, and it goes a long ways in this match. And that's what Penn State's known for. There's something that Cale Sanderson and his team has been known for at the NCAAs is scoring a whole nother person's, another wrestler's points in bonus points. So at 149 pounds, Jared Verclaren going up against Colin Purinton, senior, sophomore. Verclaren having a good start at 12-2. Looks like he's the man at 149 pounds going up against Purinton for Nebraska.
Yep. Should be another good bout like the first one at 125. These guys aren't the world beaters of their teams, but it could be a very close matchup. They're both scrappy. Verclaren came out of high school, highly recruited, and has continued to improve. And Purinton's just paid his dues in the Husker room now for 4 or 5 years. And machine, just made the lineup and solidified his spot at 149.
Verclaren, tough young man from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, Hempfield High School, was a state champion, but what a story. He was diagnosed with type 1 juvenile diabetes at 4 years old, and it means that it impacts your speed, your coordination, your decision making if your blood sugar spikes, and with losing weight or adrenaline, all that comes into play, and he's really managed that well.
Yeah, good story, Tim. All true. I mean, it is so few wrestlers can succeed with diabetes just in junior high and high school, let alone be a state champ, a world champ, and an NCAA elite wrestler. That's sweet spin out right there. This is a good scramble. Both men are wrestling awesome. Good job for Nebraska. I love to hear that crowd noise.
Just plain hustle there by Colin Purinton out of Banks, Oregon. That offense and that scrambling and that want to was shown by that Husker, two-time state champion, a redshirt senior, getting his opportunity to really make an impact for the Huskers in this very important dual meet with the Nittany Lions.
Well, Tim, you were talking to me before the match about Purinton. One of the things you emphasized was his ability to scramble. Well, Verclaren actually initiated that scramble. He did the spin out, and then immediately Purinton reacted to it. I mean, that was just a really great 10 seconds of action right there, because one guy initiates, the other guy counters, the next guy counters. You see at least 3 distinct flurries right there. But just finishing your thought on the diabetes, Tim, amazing what Verclaren has achieved to be a national and world-class wrestler, managing his blood sugar and his challenging disease.
And you mentioned world champion. He was a cadet freestyle world champion, and he has accomplished so much, still trying, and if he continues to keep this 149-pound spot, it'll be the first time he's actually been able to say, hey, this is my spot, this is, I'm a Nittany Lion, and now he has to step up and execute as the Lions have as they head into the Big Tens, head into the NCAAs in the next month and a half.
good reaction by Puritan. So Verclaren was kind of feeling out that high single, and Puritan reacted strongly to it. Kind of things are slowing down here. Somebody's gonna have to snap the head, create some action, move their opponent out of place. They're just kind of hanging on each other, leaning on each other. Somebody's gonna have to pick up the pace a little bit. They both seem to have really good scramble ability.
As we approach the end of the first period, Colin Puritan for the Huskers out in front 2-1 on the takedown. Took a takedown or escape by Jared Verclaren. Sunday on BTN, the Buckeyes and Gophers step onto the mat for another outstanding duel. Big Ten Wrestling presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. Sunday at 8:30 Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
Second period, 2-1.
Great crowd, great atmosphere, raised stage, spotlight.
Bottom, don't move.
I love it, Tim. I agree. Just like you said, just like the NCAA tournament, this place is packed with red. This is a great crowd here. Very exciting times.
You flinched up with your middle back, okay? Make sure you hold on that.
Caution
Yep. Top cover
on
and
red,
hold.
which is Nebraska. And he jumped the gun. You get 2 cautions before it's a point against you. That was his first caution. Puritan. Good hand control, got to his feet. Puritan for an escape. Now ahead 3-1.
Yeah, so Verclaren, not usually a big rider. He kind of paces himself for obvious. It's hard probably to go like 7 minutes like a machine. He picks his spots, has some really good moves. Very good at the upper body position. Got a pretty good leg attack and he finishes quick. One of his better moves, Tim, is the spin out that he did against Puritan earlier, but Puritan reacted to that amazingly well, impressively well. So these guys, I would say, are very good counter wrestlers, but neither one is particularly aggressive offensively.
And Verclaren's going to have to be particularly offensive aggressive because Puritan's got the match going his way. What's important for the Huskers, he's a redshirt senior. He needs to know, hey, I'm in here to win this match. Strategically, I need to know what to do and not to be unwise in what I choose to do. It's going his way. Yeah. It's his match.
Not staying under there would be a good way.
And Verclaren's going to need to pull the trigger and get his offense going because Puritan really doesn't need to do that.
Looks like the Nebraska coaches are content for things to stay close to him. They're not like urging him to do nothing. They're just telling him the time, telling him to keep your hands down. They don't want Verclaren underhooking Puritan. Pretty intense match for Nebraska. On paper, perhaps Penn State's slightly favored in this one, but I mean, like we talked about earlier, I mean, this is a toss-up. Like many of the matches in this dual meet, there's a lot of expected to be closely contested matches, and we're seeing that.
Action, gentlemen, action.
Now, Penn State, after dropping at 125, Nebraska going out 3-0, comes back with 2 major decisions. That's big. End of the second period, Puritan leading 3-1. Verclaren will choose down, I'm sure.
So Tim, Puritan's just happy to keep it close. I mean, he's not expecting a major. That's not his goal or nothing. Now, I think he will try to ride really hard right here, but he's just gonna, if he can get riding time. Verclaren, I expect to make a few quick moves, but he's pretty solid on bottom. See how he's keeping a good base. He's quad potting to his feet. He's going to get out of there. So Puritan's going to be happy to hang out and win a scramble. I would not look for Puritan to open up much. Verclaren's got to bring it to Puritan.
And Verclaren has not been able to get past the defense of Puritan so far. But he's going to have to figure out a way. And you can't go straight on the tracks here. He's got to find the opening, the angle. And you got to move the feet to do that.
Calling it Jim Gibbons' long-time analogies on the tracks, and somebody's got to get that angle and hit the corner. Something Penn State emphasized a lot is angles and ankles. Oh, that was really good. Holy smoke. He must have heard me. What a great scramble here. It's on right here. Verclaren's got to keep moving. The crowd wants 2 for Nebraska. Puritan, good job. He's going. He's in the pin. Holy smokers. Look at this crowd.
With the pin for the Huskers. And with 6 points, they go out in front of Nittany Lions. They bring their crowd to their feet. 9-8. The Huskers out front with this pin right here.
What an exciting scramble. Holy smokes, could go either way, but great job by Puritan to secure the fall right there.
And we'll be back for 157 pounds after this. Back in Lincoln, Nebraska out front of the Nittany Lions 9-8. And the Resolite takedown of the meet, presented by Resolite. The best takedowns take place on a Resolite. Here it is.
So Verclaren, slight favorite in this match, gets out-scrambled by Puritan. Like you said, Tim, great scrambler. He gets the fall. Hey, this could be like a 9-point swing here. I mean, you're thinking Penn State's got the best, has a slight favorite to win, but boom, the fall. 6 big points for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, that was
the crowd up.
That was a 6-point takedown of the meet. And Puritan takes down Verclaren in a close match to his back, gets the fall call, and now we're getting ready for 157 pounds. Take a look there at freshman, redshirt freshman Peyton Robb. Peyton Robb with a 12-3 record going up against the junior Bo Pfeiffer, 8-8 record. Pfeiffer at 157 out of Colorado, a 3-time state champion, going up against a 3-time state champion from Ottawa, Minnesota.
What an exciting opportunity for Peyton Robb, coming in as a freshman right after a fall by his teammate. The crowd is ignited. Let's see if he plays off that energy. He's very good on his feet, Tim. If he can open up Piper. Piper's strong and hard to score on, doesn't do a lot. See what Peyton Robb can get going offensively.
Really important for Bo Pfeiffer to stay within himself so that Penn State can respond and get this crowd out of it, but nothing doing. Peyton Robb gets the crowd excited right away with that takedown.
Quickest takedown of the night, Tim. Come right after to get it. He's not messing around. That's really impressive. So he's not usually a big top guy, but he's trying to ride right here pretty hard. I like the attitude. He wants him out. All right, it's a fresh start. Pfeiffer's fired up. You know, Robb was trying to ride him here. He's looking to the coaches. They're trying to decide whether to keep him down or try to ride him. Oh, nice first move. So Robb gets the jump on the whistle. For you young wrestlers at home, riding that right side arm. Look what Nick Lee did to Chad Red. He really rode that right side arm hard. And Peyton Robb's getting on that right side, riding hard. You just find that more guys have troubles on bottom when you get on the right side. So definitely be ambidextrous on top and on bottom too, of course.
1 minute in, and Peyton Robb almost with a minute's riding time because his takedown came
so fast.
At the whistle, got right in on Pfeiffer, got the takedown, and now really a lot of pressure inside wrist, the pressure on the shoulder, head on the mat. If your head's down, you're not going anywhere.
Pretty much sums it up, huh? Yeah, so you said the word pressure a couple times there. It is. I mean, seriously, he is just mauling that right side wrist ride. And again, emphasis on the right side. The crowd wants stalling against Penn State. I don't know if he's stalling, he just can't do anything.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Ken, is when you're getting dominated on top there. But as hard as and as many calories as Peyton Robb's using, there's more calories being used from Bo Pfeiffer underneath the defending.
Absolutely.
So you're taking the starch out of it.
Seriously.
When you're on top doing what Peyton Robb is almost for 2 minutes now in the first period.
Sums it up. He's changing the legs now. Let's see what he's got here. He's trying a little power half. Pfeiffer's trying to shake him. So Robb's got to get something going underneath that left arm. He's looking solid, but his hips falling off a little bit. He's almost got a back point count. He's got a side headlock. So it's not a power half, it's like a far side headlock.
Looking to turn the shoulders past 45 degrees to get either a 2 or a 4 count.
Yeah, well now he's looking just to flatten him out and tell you, hang on. He's doing pretty good. He's got almost both legs in. He's just choking the crap out of him. It doesn't look like much. So now the ref's counting. All right, out the back door. Could be a reversal here.
And it's a big reversal for Bo Pfeiffer.
15
coming out.
seconds.
And a reversal with 15 seconds left. If he ends up on top here, that's a huge 2-point reversal.
Huge 5 seconds for Peyton Robb right here. He's got to go. He's got to grab. He's got to switch. He got to move.
And Bo Pfeiffer with a late period reversal.
Nicely timed for Bo Pfeiffer. He's excited. Beautiful job coming out the back door, finishing that head outside shot, endangering Peyton Robb. He almost got back points. Not necessarily almost, but he was in position where he could have. And now we got a match all of a sudden.
Bo Pfeiffer, a veteran leader in the lineup. He's a tough rider on top. We'll see what he does here, because you see he's getting that anchored ankle back there, putting a lot of pressure on top of Robb. But nice job of turning in by Robb. Now Robb looking to try to get a reversal here if he can hook the leg and swim his arm through.
Yeah, this is a unique scramble right here. They're both improvising.
Nice job of scooting by Pfeiffer.
Yeah, look for Robb to possibly hit a roll. Now Pfeiffer's got that wrist and right leg in. So Pfeiffer went from a back leg hook ride to a leg in ride. Robb's got some offense here. Let's see if he tries to swim the power half or tries to Granby. I don't look for him just to sit here. He's going to roll. There you go. I was calling it. Boom. There's still. Oh, nice. Now he's got to go power half.
2 points reversal for Peyton Robb.
Yeah, he's not in a very good position, though. He didn't really. A good move. So Peyton Robb's still getting riding time here. Neither one of these guys are very happy with the position they're in.
Pfeiffer was able to get in a good position, but wasn't able to come up with his head fast enough to keep Robb from getting into the crotch lift position.
Drop down one.
So Robb's got to work up here. Wow, what a great scramblers. Both of these guys. This is some good wrestling. 4-2 is the score. Anybody's match right here, Tim. I mean, you know, Robb coming in slight favorite. He rode him hard, but it's Pfeiffer's still in the ball game. Pfeiffer be well served to get an escape here in these last 20 seconds. This is a critical 20 seconds. Every bit of every match counts, as you know, but certainly the end of the periods. Pfeiffer's not doing anything, Tim.
Robb with that reversal and the riding time now approaching 2.5 minutes.
All right, 10 seconds. Let's see if Pfeiffer tries some. Robb's not going to do anything. Robb's just holding on ride. He's basically stalling on top, but he's just doing what he should do. And Pfeiffer really didn't show much on bottom here these last 30 seconds. Too little too late right there.
Ends the period on top.
How about Peyton Robb's roll? I love to call that a ninja. A guy puts legs in on you, and you just roll like a ninja. You cannot stop in the middle. Like a ninja warrior, never stop in the middle. You just get after it, win that scramble.
Top cover.
And that was a scramble. They got 2 points for Peyton Robb. Now, Robb starts on top. Caution against Nebraska for jumping the gun.
Hey, guys, I'm going to get a fair start here. Bottom of your set. You may cover.
Wait for the official's whistle. That caution doesn't cost him anything right now. And they have a clean start. Peyton Robb out in front, 4-2. Third period. And he's effectively got a 3-point lead with that riding time.
I love that right side ride. So Pfeiffer, if he's going to take his game from good college wrestler to great, he's going to need to work on his bottom game, Tim. Because so he's getting ridden here. He's got one for stalling. He's getting ridden by a freshman. Well, Pfeiffer's a strong man. He should be able to put some moves together on bottom. He's really being too patient, not showing any sense of urgency. And though Robb was grinding really hard in the first period, right now he's just riding, just looking to kill the clock. I'm surprised he's not working to get a wrist under control for a possible tilt, though. He does have a cross wrist roll series in his arsenal. He just seems too content to ride that claw. And I don't know who's stalling now. I say both are stalling now. So he can't push. If he pushes on, he'll get banged for stalling. I don't think we're going to see. I think it'll be a no call.
All right, no call. They go back. Pfeiffer's been warned for stalling. It was his first warning. Peyton Robb out in front. He's got the riding time locked in, so it's a 3-point lead with 57 seconds left. There's a second caution. The next one will cost Robb a point.
Touch and go. Bottom set.
That's 2 cautions on Robb. Clean start.
So one thing Pfeiffer's doing a good job of doing is not giving up his wrists anymore. I mean, he's shutting down that near wrist, cross wrist, but he's just not showing enough urgency. And Peyton Robb's doing a heck of a job keeping the weight on, keeping the pressure forward. And it's still a match, though. I mean, all Penn State has to do is get an escape. Oh, nice scramble. I was going to say an escape and a takedown to tie it. A reversal won't get it.
25 seconds left in regulation.
Rob needs to stay heavy here, too. Oh, they're going out of bounds, so fresh start. Let's see if Bo Pfeiffer has 20 seconds of sprint in him. He just needs an escape and a takedown to tie it.
Great body language by Pfeiffer, who trails Peyton Robb, who's had a workman-like performance tonight that looks like it's going to end up with another win for Nebraska. The crowd smells it, senses it. Short time left. Escape. A quick takedown would make a difference, but it's not going to happen. With riding time, Peyton Robb wins 5-3, puts 3 points on the board for Nebraska to go out in front 12-8 after 5 matches. And it's been all emotion in the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Penn State gets a couple of big wins, but Nebraska gets 3 big wins and leads 12-8 as we go to intermission. It's Big Ten wrestling. Welcome back, Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska leads Penn State 12-8. Mark Manning's in his 20th season. He's the longest tenured head coach in the Big Ten. Here's Mark Manning on the mat.
This is my 20th year at the University of Nebraska, and I'm the longest tenured coach in the Big Ten. I grew up in a family of 10 other brothers and sisters, 5 other brothers, 5 other sisters, and I'm the 10th of 11. And so I grew up on a farm in Vermillion, South Dakota, and you were expected to work hard. Whether it was dark or rainy or snowy or 100 degrees, you were part of that family farm. You're part of that mission.
Let's work it, sparring, let's go. I want to spend a few minutes in each one of these areas.
It's hard to duplicate what I came from, so it's more like, creating that and get them to buy in to do something for each other, and ask them if they're willing to do what I would be willing to do.
Well, no, we're going to work on that because I'm not sure they're practicing it right.
That farm, Midwestern work ethic, it permeates the program. And I think you see it in our team because they're tough and they know that they have to work.
I love it. The farm, Midwestern work ethic, and you see it in their team, and you also see it in their performance there, Ken. Mark Manning doing a great job at Nebraska with 9 ranked wrestlers, second most in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's one heck of a dual meet team when you have 9 ranked wrestlers. To upset Penn State in a duel, you need balance. He has it, Tim.
When we come back, more wrestling starting at 165. The Huskers lead at 12-8. 2 Nebraska legends. Jordan Burroughs, Olympic champion. Terrence Crawford, Omaha native, holds the world welterweight title. Nebraska legends on the stage. And the stage is set for the second half. First half started out with Nebraska getting a toss-up win, going out 3-0. And then Penn State coming back with their studs, RBY and Nick Lee getting important wins and major decisions. Colin Puritan coming back with a big fall for Nebraska, and then Peyton Robb, a workman-like wrestling match for him, and Nebraska out front 12-8.
Yeah, what a barn burner of a first half, but it's going to even get better this second half. A lot of close matchups and exciting fights.
Look who's coming. Isaiah White, Vincenzo Joseph. They've wrestled 3 times. Joseph 3-0, 2 of them in overtime. 6-0 this year, 12-2 for Isaiah White. Vincenzo Joseph, the only Penn State wrestler ever to win national titles as a freshman and a sophomore. And then as a junior, he got second to Micaiah Lewis last year, and now is trying to win his third and join an elite group of Penn State wrestlers to win 3. But Wright, he has to go through Isaiah White. He's won 3 times in the last 2 years against White, but they've all been close. Here's Chenzo. Here's Isaiah.
So, Tim, if Isaiah White's going to have a chance to knock off Vincenzo Joseph, why not now in front of the home folks? I mean, Joseph is nearly unbeatable, 2-time NCAA champ and 3-time finalist, as you noted. He's got the home crowd. He's got the energy, the fans. He slept in his own bed. He made weight in his own town. He's in on the double. Good D by Joseph. He just stopped Joseph's best shot. Joseph just stopped White's best shot, and now this time he didn't, though. He did again. How about those hips? You can't teach those hips, Tim. It's like a brick wall.
White pulls the trigger fast. A couple of double legs fended off by Joseph.
Yeah.
White out of Chicago, Illinois. Oak Park Ridge Forest High School, was a 3-time state champion in Illinois. 5th last year at this weight class, All-American for Nebraska. Got to Nebraska through Notre Dame College, where he was a Division II national champion before transferring to Nebraska. Chenzo Joseph, a redshirt senior, 2-time NCAA champion, 3-time finalist out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Central Catholic High School. Was a 2-time state champion. As I said, first ever Nittany Lion ever to win NCAA titles as freshman and sophomore. He's gifted, Ken. And he showed his gifts there on those great shots by White.
Yes, I like White's strategy, though. He came out attacking like Jordan Burroughs, getting after on the double. Now what he's got to do is keep the pace. He's got to create more space. He does not want to be up there with Vincenzo Joseph.
You're right. I think the key to Isaiah White is to pull the trigger. It's interesting, in those 3 matches, 3 wins for Joseph in the last 2 years. Joseph has never had a takedown in regulation. His takedowns, the last match was sudden victory win at the NCAAs in the quarters last year, and it was a takedown in overtime. And I'll give you 3 guesses. No, I'll give you 1 guess on what the takedown was, Ken.
I'm going to go with inside trip.
There you go. Inside trip.
Lucky guess.
Got it for the, there's single leg. He might inside.
He must have heard you talking about not getting any takedowns until sudden death. I think he's going to get this one. I feel pretty good about him here. He's got a nice angle and got the ankles. Yeah, I made this point earlier. Angles and ankles. Angles and ankles. That's really key to get, and he just did a perfect job of doing that right there.
On cue. Gets the takedown in regulation. That's Joseph coming out with the same kind of walk and the same kind of look that Nick Lee had against Chad Red Jr. And so, you know, a lot of talk. The Penn State wrestlers in many of these matches coming up, in fact, are favored. But there's been a lot of talk. Will this be the night they get upset? I don't think Lee fancied to it, and I don't think Joseph is either. Quick takedown, very important quick takedown for Isaiah White.
Yes, he sure did get away quickly, and he is ready to go. That was good by him to get, because Joseph was trying to ride him. Joseph was making a concerted effort to stop his first move and hold it down. White's a strong man. He got good to his feet. He doesn't need to be up there, though, with Joseph. He's Joseph.
He loves to throw. Joseph, you're talking about a guy that is very comfortable standing straight up. He can stand straight up.
He'll overhook you.
Yes.
He's really doing a good job pushing the pace. He's like really stalking. What a great attack, though, by Joseph, man. He really committed that angle. Let's see the setup, drops, gets the angle. So White committed to that shin whizzer mistake. Instead of defending with his hips, he went to the trick move, and Joseph's practiced that. They worked on that in a wrestling room consistently and cut the corner, got the angle and ankles, and it was over. So probably bad tactic by White to go to the shin whizzer so quickly.
We're talking about Lee with Chad Red Jr. This looks familiar here as Joseph flattens out White in the first few seconds of the second period.
Keep it legal.
Anchoring that back ankle, pressure on top.
Yeah, he's picked up the intensity this time. He does not let White get to his base like he did. White's got to get his knees under him, specifically his right knee. So Joseph got that leg hook. Joseph's really grinding hard. I don't want to say he's stalling, he's not, but White's just trying to get his base. Joseph's really working hard to ride. He's not looking to turn him or anything. He's just looking to grind and doing a darn good job of it and getting Nebraska called for stalling.
That's big. It's a minute 15 left in the second period, and the stall called on Isaiah White for the Huskers there. It's a warning, no point yet. But the first stall call on Nebraska's White. It's a punishing ride by Joseph.
Really is. Boy, just really made a commitment to ride. Whereby Lee was really working for the arm bar and the wrist and stuff. Joseph's just cranking. I don't see him turning White. He's going to get a call for stalling again if White doesn't try to move a little harder. So White is going to get banged for stalling if he doesn't get his knees under him and get some pressure back. I don't know what he's thinking here. He's one of the greatest wrestlers in the country at the weight there. That's what he's got to think. Now he's got to come with a stand-up.
There's the Nebraska coaching staff, Mark Manning, and last year's All-American Tyler Berger, Robert Kokesh back on the staff. A lot of fans in Wagner watching this watching this meet, the hometown of Robert Kokesh. And there's the Nittany Lions. Teo Sanderson, Jake Varner.
Break easy. Green, your choice.
Cunningham, Casey Cunningham.
Green.
You know, one of the things that Penn State has done, and Nebraska, longevity,
you have 217
loyalty,
advantage riding.
keeping the
Bottom
same
set.
staff.
Top you may cover.
That goes a long ways, and that's what's happened at Penn State.
Absolutely, yes. Those guys are great friends. They work together. They communicate well together. They all have different duties. Just really good job done.
That's a good point you just made, Ken. They really are great friends.
Yeah,
and
the brothers, for starters.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously,
Cody.
Varner's their protege, and Casey and Caleb had a nice relationship since they were college students, and training in the Olympic Training Center. Speaking of Olympic Training Center, I think back on my connection to Mark Manning. When I was on the Olympic team with Bill and Jim Shear, Cornhuskers, legends, NCAA champs and Olympians from Nebraska, Mark was out at the training center, always grinding with us, training, working out with the likes of my teammates John Smith and Nate Carr. And just Mark Manning's always been a really hard worker as an athlete, and now obviously as a coach, done a wonderful job. Yeah,
where would the USA wrestling team be without the steady influence of Mark Manning, Jordan Burroughs, James Green? Again, look at this pressure. The escape by Isaiah White, but Joseph, keeping the middle of the mat, just really pressuring on White.
So, DiCenzo Joseph stopped the good shot the first 30 seconds twice, and now he really hasn't gone back to it. It looks like White kind of peters out a little bit. I mean, I could be wrong. He could get one more good shot in here, but basically, Joseph's been the aggressor.
And there's a stalling. That'll be one for Joseph. Stalling against White. That's his second 1 point. You got riding time.
So for what could be the NCAA Finals, Joseph's dominated. I mean, he's really owned this match. There's no sudden death here, huh?
Most successful he's been against his nemesis here. I wouldn't call it a nemesis. The nemesis is Joseph for White, but his rival, Isaiah White, just what a performance by Joseph here. Been dominating.
Truly has been.
Stay on the mat, gentlemen.
On the feet, 2 minutes of riding time. And what a performance when Penn State needed it. Trailing 12-8. They will still be trailing, but they come out of halftime and they get a solid win by their two-time NCAA champion, Vincenzo Joseph. Gets the win. Riding time makes it 5-1. 3 points on the board for Penn State. And after 165 pounds, Nebraska leads 12-11. We said it would be a tight one, and it can't get much tighter than this. Nice win by Joseph.
Some powerful hips. He might be the only athlete in the country that can consistently stop Isaiah White's double leg. I mean, White's got a really good double.
174 pounds. Mark Hall, an NCAA champion as a freshman, going up against Mikey Labriola, All-American as a freshman last year. Mark Hall, three-time finalist, national champion, a senior now, has never taken a redshirt year, and Labriola, and he went last year, it was 5-3. Labriola got a takedown in that match against Hall. This will be another good one. Hall favored, but the crowd wanting an upset here from Mikey Labriola from Easton, Pennsylvania, Bethlehem Catholic, up against the Apple Valley phenom, Mark Hall. Mark Hall, one of the nation's most storied high school careers. 6-time state champion, 2-time Fargo cadet world champion. Powerhouse prep program up Apple Valley, Minnesota, up against another powerhouse, Bethlehem Catholic.
So as I think back on it back in time, Tim, your son-in-law, Kyle Rochelle, who's coach at University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, his dad coached Mark Hall back in middle school.
Yes,
it wasn't technically middle school. I think he won the state in 7th grade in Kentucky. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
So and your son-in-law's dad was his coach. So it worked out pretty good for him. Bounced, I think, right, Kentucky maybe did a year in Michigan, perhaps. I think he grew up in Michigan, but did that year in Kentucky before heading to 8th grade in Apple Valley. So that's kind of a small world type thing there with the Rochelle connection. So talking about hips of Joseph, Mark Hall has similar hips. It's really hard to score on. So Labriola has awesome shots. He's a really good goer. I like him. That was a sweet little boot scoot. Upper body, Hall's going big. Labriola wants the heck out of there. Hall's feeling pretty confident. I find Hall to be a very diverse wrestler. And wow, he just did it with a foot sweep too. What a great scramble. The crowd's not happy. They're throwing in the challenge.
Here comes the brick. The coaches aren't happy either. They'll challenge the takedown. Of the call on the mat is a takedown for Mark Hall.
Go over there.
So it all happened fast. There was a little scramble action. Mark Hall was an over-under. Pretty slick stuff. Mark Hall was an over-under. Kind of did a short drag. Oh, here we're going to look at it. We're going to get a little counter out. The over-under. He's going to short drag with his left hand on this near side and kind of get into the go-behind position. He's going to foot sweep with his right foot. Now, is there 2 right there or not? No, probably not.
I think it's going to be, I mean, the call was 2, the hand was on the ground, he was behind him, and I think they're not going to overturn this.
Right, there is 2. But is there 2 when he got it initially or on the out of bounds? I agree with you, they could keep the call. So they could call 2 there, and then they, again, potentially could, again, call 2 right here.
There.
So bad break. But Manning didn't have the replays like we did. This is slick technique right here, though. From an over-under to a short drag into a foot sweep. That's like 3 seconds of money.
The call on the mat is reversed. It was not beyond reaction time.
And what do we know? It wasn't beyond reaction time. They reversed the call, and so the takedown to the delight of the crowd was taken away. So good brick.
I don't know. It proved to be
a good brick, and so Mark Manning throws the brick. Mikey Labriola gets a second chance here. They go back to their feet. Minute 37, 0-0.
Very interesting overturn of call, Tim. I mean, we both just saw it, looked at it. Interesting. They're still up here. What's he doing now? He's changing the
yeah, they got to take the writing. They got to go back to where it happened and put the time on the clock, and here we go. Both these wrestlers are very poised.
His bag of tricks is deep. I mean, he's really chill and calm. It reminds me, Tim, of Lee Kemp. When I was growing up, I looked up to Dave Schultz, Lee Kemp. Those guys were going at it. They're just so poised, such precise technique. So Mark reminds me of Lee.
And you're talking about 2 of the greats. And Dave Schultz, of course, the award, the Dave Schultz Excellent Award in every state, and then nationally. And Mark Hall was the 2016 Dave Schultz Excellence Award winner for the nation. And so we're talking about the best of the best, and he reminds you of them. You're right. Mark Hall's always poised. He's never rushing. He knows where he's at.
Labriola is legit. I mean, obviously, he's an All-American as a freshman last year. It's just some savvy wrestling by Hall. This is a big scramble. So single leg versus wizard. I learned this position from Doug Blueball growing up, Olympic champion legend. It's just a common position wrestling. It's there all the time. You got to be good at both defending and countering it.
Look at that.
Both finishing and countering.
Yeah, that roll through by Labriola is keeping the takedown from happening, at least right now. If he can continue to scoot those hips and somehow get that leg over his head. But I think Mark Hall is going to come around and
back leg hooked is 2.
There's the 2 points.
So remember in the Iowa match last week, Labriola almost beat Kemmerer. Kemmerer had that reverse leg lock and got a stalemate out of it. Labriola had the reverse leg lock, but didn't quite stick with it well enough and ended up giving it up kind of like he did there.
And don't think Mark Manning is not thinking about throwing that brick again. He almost had it out of his hand because he was thinking as you were thinking. But a takedown with a ride out on top at the end of the period. That was a big 2 points for Mark Hall in this matchup against Mikey Labriola.
Yeah, again, I'm quite impressed with what I'm seeing from Labriola against Kemmerer, against Hall. I mean, he's not expected to win or anything, but he's right in there fighting so hard. Let's see what he's got on top. They're both good takedown guys. Hall's going for the reverse leg lock. He's going to try to put him to a hip. Oh, nice job by Hall. He's got the foot with his right hand, his left hand rather. Oh, good. That was slick. Boy, he is just savvy. Just incredible body awareness Mark Hall has. And he's been wrestling, you know, so much through elementary school. He's been on the circuit. I mean, people have known who Mark Hall was since he was, you know, 9 to 12-year-old age group. And then he busted on the scene winning the state as a 7th grader in Kentucky, literally winning high school states. So just calm, fluent, and he's a winner.
Mark Hall out in front of Labriola. As you talked about, Labriola, such a tough competitor.
All right.
Great guy to have met his mom and dad, Barb and Michael, and you're talking about what a happy kid Mikey Labriola was growing up and still is. I love a young man that kisses his mom when he sees him, and I witnessed that. But hey, this guy there's no quit in him. He's up against one of the best, though, 3-time finalist, NCAA champion Mark Hall, ranked #1, and right now, he's got control, Hall does, of this match.
He does. Unique little scramble here, though. Hall's not particularly happy there. He's trying for the tilt. Labriola kind of put him into a crab. Right now, Hall's happy. I mean, Hall's got it now, but 10 seconds ago, he's a little uneasy.
And as great as Hall is on his feet, I think he's one of the best riders in the game.
You feeling him on top, too, huh?
Yeah, he is. He is one of the great riders in our college wrestling. Look at this pressure that he has, and he can ride out to win as well as anybody.
He definitely is a savvy rider when he needs to, absolutely. And Labriola's not done very well on bottom here. He hasn't really put 2 moves together very fluently.
You can call it the Friday fights. I call it Friday, Fantastic Friday. If you thought you had enough great wrestling with Nebraska and Penn State, what's coming up? You're looking at it there at Carver Hawkeye. Ohio State visiting the #1 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Coming up next, don't go away after this one. It's Fantastic Friday on BTN.
Oh, yeah, you got to love wrestling in Carver Hawkeye Arena. And when Tom Ryan, Hawkeye grad, brings his Buckeyes in there, that place is going to be rocking. Plus, what I really like about that dual matchup is Ryan and Brand's fussing at each other because they were old buddies in college. And then when things get heated and they're close calls, you know, they're both fighting for the athletes, but at the end of the game, they're still like good buddies.
The fight right here needs to be taken to Hall by Mikey Labriola, but Hall steps in with a nice shot. Burning time, if nothing else.
So same position as earlier. Nebraska went to the Shin Wizard. Like earlier, Vincenzo Joseph was against Isaiah White, and Nebraska went to the Wizard, turned their hips out. And Penn State does a good job of beating that Shin Wizard, that low Wizard. Now Hall's going to think about a major or a cradle.
You're in control.
There's just been an intensity. That was 2 more points for Mark Hall there. And there's been intensity shown by Penn State's best wrestlers when you're looking at Lee and Chenzo Joseph and Mark Hall. They've showed up tonight in a hostile environment, in a great environment. Congratulations, thanks to Nebraska Athletic Department, the raised stage, the great crowd. But Penn State knew they were going to be in for a fight, and their studs are showing up.
Yeah, it's still coming down the wire.
As they say, you don't get away from the eyes of Cale Sanderson, and his eyes have been focused on this mat tonight with a lot of success coming from his best wrestlers.
Speaking of best wrestlers here, can Mark Hall go big and get a major? He's thinking duck. He's thinking, wow, that was slick. Elbow shove, far ankle, duck. He's just technique, boy, holy smokes. So that's the famous one that Zanuck does so well with the elbow shove, far ankle grab. And Hall had to do two or three more things. He's going big up the near side cradle. Holy smokes.
Cradle is locked.
He's got the major, he's going for the fall, Tim. It's close, he's almost got it, it's there, it's over.
It's a fall with 7 seconds left. Wow. Mark Hall showed up tonight.
Love it. Very impressive third period by Mark Hall. He went to bat. I mean, he could have just chilled, and he went big for a cool takedown, had to scramble. Just so impressive. Near side, cradles the fall, Tim.
Penn State goes out in front 17-12 on the strength of this big fall at the end of the third period by national champion Mark Hall. BTN Wrestling. Wrestling on BTN is presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. Wrestle with the best. And brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you have built. Man, I'm getting my breath, Ken. Getting ready for 184. Oh, baby. It's come down to this. The Huskers lead 18-17. Coming up next, don't forget, at 9:07 Eastern, Ohio State at Iowa. And look at that crowd of nearly 15,000. And it's going to start at 165 for everyone. Alex Marinelli, the #1 ranked 65-pounder in the land, will get you there right after this match. You don't even have time to go get your sandwich made. Stay tuned. It's Fantastic Friday on BTN.
What a great night, Tim.
Heavyweights come down to this. It's next Neville up for Penn State. His brother Nick Neville, the All-American Seth Nevills, the freshman, 9-0, going up against Lance. Christian Lance, again ranked ahead of Neville's, but that's because of less opportunities probably. I'm not saying that Lance is the favorite here. You might say that Neville's is a slight favorite here. Credentials coming out of high school, a 4-time California state champion, wrestling for Steve and Adam Terapelli at Clovis High School, that powerhouse program. What a town, Clovis, Clovis North, Buchanan. Wow, Steve Terapelli, no longer the head coach. He graduated with Seth Nevills, but he's still in the room, and Adam Terapelli, the NCAA champion from Illinois. Great program there. Christian Lance from Nixon, Missouri. He was 3 years in the Fort Hays State program before he transferred to Nebraska, a state champion in Missouri. He's a redshirt senior. He's taken the job of heavyweight over in his 1 year of competition for the Huskers. Big moment for both wrestlers.
Truly, Tim, what a great opportunity for these two young men. I mean, transferred from Fort Hays because he wanted to be on the big stage, literally, and here he is in Lincoln, Nebraska, on the stage. Meanwhile, Neville's following, as you said, what a great next Neville's up, Tim. I got a good chuckle out of that. Hey, follows in his brother's footsteps. You know, instead of paving his own way somewhere different, he follows his brother to Penn State, and these guys are in the spotlight on center stage, getting to get after it. Very exciting moments for them.
Great wrestling family, the Neville. Zach, the oldest, wrestled at Stanford, and then Nick, Penn State. AJ wrestles currently for Fresno State, and now Seth Nevills. We say, oh my goodness, you know, Kassar out for the year. What a bummer, and it is, because what a great NCAA champion who was coming back for a second one. But when you think about it, Kassar came out of nowhere in one sense, and the plan all along was that at this time, Seth Nevills was going to take over the heavyweight spot, not knowing that Kassar was going to be there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So during the recruiting time, it's a surprise, but not a surprise, that Seth Nevills is in as a freshman for a stint of 4 years for the Lions at heavyweight.
It's funny how things work out. Everything plays its course. A lot of manipulated lineups, red shirts, Olympic red shirts, all sorts of gray shirts in this situation. Typical heavyweight action here, Tim. We're seeing a lot of hand fighting. Both guys are respecting each other's hips, a lot of head snapping and pulling. They're getting after it. I mean, they're pretty feisty. Nobody showed much offense yet. Now, Neville's pretty savvy mat wrestler. I don't know what Lance has. He's transferred from Fort Hays State. I haven't seen a lot of him yet here.
Both these guys have low shots for heavyweights. I've seen both of them in action. And it goes 0-0. Our outstanding wrestler, presented by Cliff Keen Athletic, is Mark Hall. And Mark Hall with that pin with 7 seconds left over Mikey Labriola. A difference maker. Could be the difference.
Truly. Great job right there. And, you know, as I watch that closer, Labriola paused and gave up that cradle. That's a shame. You know, you can't do that and call capitalize. But here we go back to live action. This is a huge time period. I mean, heavyweights have trouble getting away. Nevills is riding hard. Let's see what Christian Lance has on bottom. Looking pretty good at the moment right there for a split second. He's coming. He's trying hard.
Both wrestlers really working hard.
I like Lance's technique. Nevills trips him. I like his persistence, Tim. He's not giving up, that's for sure.
Now, Nevills doing a nice job of driving forward, continuing to take Lance to the mat. Trapping that arm.
That's got to be exhausting, Tim. I mean, I don't like being on bottom against light middleweights, let alone having some 280-pound man on top of you crushing you.
The elbows are out. Nevills digs in to get those wrists.
So this was a big minute in the match for Seth Nevills. I mean, this may be the difference in the match. Just this 1 minute hard ride.
And we've gone past 1 minute. Your point is well taken, because now he's giving himself a chance, if he does get away, to get away sooner than, what, 20 seconds. So a minute 20 riding time and building up. Seth Nevills knows where he's at. Stuck his foot there to keep it in the middle for an extra 10 seconds of riding time.
All right, so the Penn State coaches want him to keep him down. They're yelling urgently to keep working. So he's done a good sort. And meanwhile, the Nebraska coaches are going nuts, telling him to hip heist, move his hips. It's
Hold on this
a
one,
big
guys.
30 seconds right here. So Lance did good to get to his feet, but couldn't close the deal. He's solid, he's fighting. Look at that front trip. Nevills is savvy with that right leg front trip. Now Lance got to get his right knee back under him. Nevills sitting pretty good here. There's the right knee under. Yeah, it's not looking good for Nebraska.
Lee, Joseph, Hall, and now Nevills. The rides have been unbelievable. The pressure on top has been the difference here. And there is a ride out in the second period for the true freshman, Seth Nevills.
Good.
Coming up next, we said it. They're chomping at the bit. The Hawkeye faithful.
Okay.
Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Cover illegal. Bottom set.
Waiting.
Stop, you may cover.
It's Ohio State at Iowa right after this next period.
Love it. Love it. Friday night wrestling. Kind of like Monday Night Football was to be growing up. Gotta love the double features here.
The escape given. Lance saying, I'm going to have to win this on my feet. The escape given, and Nevills goes out 1-0, but it's like 2-0 because he's got riding time right now.
So Nevills can relax and keep good position. I mean, Lance has to bring it. Nevills is keeping solid. He's looking for the go behind right here. He's chasing the butt roll, chasing good. They want him to pull him back in. Nope, stalemate. All right, so Lance has to catch his breath here. So he needs to take down and a ride to just send it in, overtime. Yeah, Nevills did a great job riding hard. What a great, good hips by Nevills. Good recovery by Lance. He's got to get to it, he's got to drive, he's almost got it, almost doesn't count, only in horseshoes, right, Tim? He's coming hard. Look at those hips by Nevills. Lance got to show some technique and persistence here. Wow, this is crazy. Oh, good job by Nevills. Oh my gosh, that's some great heavyweight wrestling. That was 15 seconds of awesome. Lance has got to get a second win. What a great bout. Up and down the lineup, Tim. 10 good matches. Every match was exciting.
Ken, as we come down, what a neat show here in Nebraska. Both teams showing up.
Incredible, absolutely. Nebraska showed up, their home crowd was here, they wrestled very well. But Penn State did not have a letdown. They came focused, they were excited. This is one of the greatest dual meets of the season right here. And I believe this is Cornhusker School record for attendance. Is that accurate? Here we go.
5,960. And the difference, surprised, bonus points for Penn State. A pin for each team, but the bonus points, major decisions coming from Penn State. The underhook there Will it be enough? And he's going to seal the deal. Nevills with the takedown 3. The riding time will make it 4-0. And Penn State is going to escape with a victory here, going 5-5 in matches, but the bonus points being the difference at 133 and 141. 3 more points on the board. 20-18 will be the final score. What a show. It was fantastic. There are no losers tonight. Congrats to the Penn State Nittany Lions for a hard-fought victory over the Huskers. That'll do it here from Lincoln. Penn State wins 20-18. Stay tuned. Ohio State at Iowa is coming up next. This has been an exclusive presentation of the Big Ten Network. For Ken Chertow and our entire crew, I'm Tim Johnson saying so long. Let's go to Iowa City.